we've observed a compelling issue that we believe requires immediate attention. There's a widespread belief held by many men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even beyond, a belief that could be significantly impacting their dating lives, especially when it comes to attracting younger women. If you're in this age group, it's crucial to realize that this misconception might be acting as an invisible barrier, preventing you from fully enjoying the possibilities that dating younger women can offer. This misconception isn't just a harmless thought, it's a profound misunderstanding that may be quietly affecting your confidence and limiting your opportunities. The idea that age automatically disqualifies you from connecting with younger women is a false narrative that needs to be corrected. In today's discussion, we're here to dispel this myth and replace it with empowering truths that will enhance your dating life. We're going to share with you 6 powerful, practical strategies that are designed not only to make you more attractive to younger women but also to help you navigate the social dynamics that often come with age gap relationships. These strategies are straightforward yet effective, and they can transform the way you approach dating, enabling you to break through the perceived limitations of age. As you listen to these insights, it's essential to keep an open mind. What you're about to discover could be the missing piece that unlocks a new world of dating possibilities for you. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to connect with younger women in a way that's authentic, confident, and respectful, all while overcoming any social stigmas that may have held you back in the past. So, we encourage you to stay engaged and absorb the information we're about to share. This isn't just about minor adjustments, it's about reshaping your perspective and equipping you with the tools you need to succeed in your dating life. The misconceptions you've held are about to be replaced with knowledge that empowers you, opening up new opportunities to connect with incredible younger women who appreciate the unique qualities you bring to the relationship. Age doesn't matter when you understand how to turn it into a strength. Many men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond mistakenly believe that their age is a hindrance, a barrier that makes them less appealing to younger women. But what if I told you that age, rather than being a disadvantage, can actually be a powerful tool in attracting younger women? It's all about perspective and approach. The notion that younger women are only interested in men their age is a misconception that needs to be dismantled. Numerous studies and real-life experiences prove that age can be a significant advantage, and if you're willing to embrace it, you can captivate the interest of younger women in ways you never imagined. You see, age brings with it a certain level of maturity and experience that younger men often lack. This maturity is something that many younger women find incredibly appealing. They often associate older men with qualities like wisdom, stability, and a deeper understanding of life. These are qualities that are not just attractive but also reassuring. Younger women often seek someone who has navigated life's challenges and emerged stronger and more self-assured. When you carry yourself with the confidence that comes from years of experience, it naturally draws people to you, including younger women who are looking for something beyond the surface level. Confidence is one of those timeless qualities that never goes out of style. For an older man, confidence isn't about boasting or trying to overshadow others. It's about a quiet, unshakable belief in oneself that is evident in every action and word. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it's genuine, not something that needs to be forced. When you engage with younger women, this authentic self-assurance shines through, making you stand out in a sea of uncertainty that often characterizes youth. This is where the real charm of age comes into play, not in pretending to be younger, but in embracing who you are fully and letting that speak for itself. The way you carry yourself physically can also make a significant impact. Simple things like maintaining strong eye contact during a conversation can say a lot more than words ever could. When you look someone in the eye, you're not just seeing them, you're making them feel seen. This can be incredibly powerful in any interaction, but especially when engaging with a younger woman. It's a silent yet potent way of saying, "I'm here, I'm confident, and I'm interested." This level of engagement can create a deep connection that transcends age. Moreover, younger women often fantasize about older men, seeing them as figures of authority and stability. This is not just a fleeting idea but a deeply ingrained perception that many younger women have. They might see older men as more masculine, more in control, and more capable of taking charge in situations. This isn't about exerting dominance but about embodying a sense of assuredness that younger men may not have developed yet. When you project this kind of masculinity, one that is rooted in calmness and control, it can be incredibly alluring. Let me take you on a journey, one that's not just about the passage of time, but about the transformation of perspective, the power of self-awareness, and the surprising turns life can take when you least expect them. There's this guy we know, let's call him Michael. He's in his mid-40s, successful, intelligent, and has always been the type to take care of himself. He's got this quiet, understated charm, a kind of confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. You know the type, right? The guy who walks into a room, and you can just feel his presence without him saying a word. But despite all of this, Michael started feeling like he was hitting a wall when it came to dating. He was convinced that his age was becoming a disadvantage, especially when it came to younger women. Now, Michael had been through his share of relationships, some good, some not so much. And as the years went by, he found himself growing more and more aware of his age. It wasn't that he felt old, per se, but he started noticing that the women he was interested in were getting younger while he, well, wasn't. He thought, maybe I should just stick to women closer to my age. It's not that he didn't find women his age attractive, he absolutely did. But there was something about the energy, the vibrancy, the fresh outlook on life that younger women had that drew him in. So there he was, at a crossroads, unsure if he should even bother pursuing anyone younger than 35. He would often tell himself, they're not going to be interested in me. I'm too old for them. They probably want someone who's closer to their age, someone who gets all the latest trends and music. It became this mantra in his head, and it started affecting the way he approached dating altogether. But then something interesting happened. One evening, Michael went out with some friends to a jazz bar. It was one of those cozy places with low lighting, where the music wraps around you like a warm blanket. He wasn't really in the mood to meet anyone, he just wanted to relax and enjoy the music. As he sat there, sipping his drink, he noticed a group of women at the bar, all in their late 20s or early 30s. They were laughing, clearly enjoying themselves, and one of them, let's call her Emily, caught his eye. She was stunning, not just in the physical sense, but there was something about her energy that intrigued him. She had this way of laughing, completely unself-conscious, like she was genuinely having the time of her life. Michael couldn't help but smile as he watched her, but then that familiar thought crept in, she's way too young. She's probably into some guy who's barely 30, full of life and energy. But here's the thing, Emily noticed him too. She noticed the way he sat there, calm and composed, completely at ease with himself. There was something different about him, something that set him apart from the younger guys who were trying too hard to impress. She found herself glancing his way more than once, and eventually, their eyes met. And just like that, there was a connection, something unspoken yet powerful. After a while, Emily got up from the bar and, much to Michael's surprise, walked right over to him. "Mind if I join you?" she asked with a smile. Michael, a bit taken aback but pleasantly surprised, nodded and motioned for her to sit down. They started talking, and what was meant to be a casual conversation quickly turned into something deeper. They talked about everything, music, travel, life. She was fascinated by his stories, the places he had been, the things he had seen. And Michael realized something, his age wasn't a disadvantage at all. In fact, it was the very thing that intrigued her. As the night went on, Michael found himself relaxing, letting go of the insecurities that had been holding him back. He was just being himself, no pretense, no trying to appear younger or more hip than he was. And Emily loved it. She told him, "You're different from the guys I usually meet. You know who you are, and you don't need to prove anything." It's refreshing. That's when it hit him. All this time, he had been underestimating the very things that made him who he was. His confidence, his experience, his ability to have a meaningful conversation, these were the things that set him apart, that made him attractive in ways he hadn't fully appreciated before. Emily and Michael kept talking, and by the end of the night, they had exchanged numbers. She was eager to see him again, and Michael felt something he hadn't in a long time: excitement, anticipation, and a renewed sense of self-worth. He realized that he didn't need to chase after youth or try to fit into a mold that wasn't meant for him. What he had to offer was something that younger men simply couldn't: experience, wisdom, and a confidence that comes from knowing yourself. Over the next few weeks, they continued to see each other. And every time they met, that connection deepened. Emily was drawn to his calmness, his ability to stay grounded no matter what life threw at him. She told him that with him, she felt safe, understood, and appreciated, things she hadn't found in her previous relationships with younger men. Michael's story is one of transformation, not just in how he viewed himself, but in how he approached life. He realized that the key wasn't in trying to be someone he wasn't, but in embracing everything that made him who he was. His age, instead of being a barrier, became a gateway to deeper, more meaningful connections. And Emily? Well, she learned that sometimes, what you're looking for isn't found in someone who's the same age as you, but in someone who's lived a little more, seen a little more, and understands a little more about life. So, the next time you find yourself doubting your appeal because of your age, remember Michael's story. Remember that what you bring to the table is unique, and that younger women aren't just looking for someone who's close to their age. They're looking for someone who can offer them something deeper, something richer. And that is something you've got in spades. Another aspect that works in favor of older men is the sense of mystery they often carry. Younger men might be quick to share everything about themselves, eager to impress, but an older man knows the value of holding back just a little. This creates an air of intrigue that can be irresistible. When you don't reveal everything right away, you give her something to be curious about, something to explore. This sense of discovery keeps the relationship dynamic and exciting, as she feels like there's always more to learn about you. A playful approach can also do wonders in creating a connection. Something as simple as giving her a light-hearted nickname can spark a bond that feels both fun and unique. It's a way of showing that you see her, that you're paying attention, and that you have a sense of humor about things. Nicknames like Troublemaker or Princess aren't just throwaway comments. They're small, personal touches that can make your interactions feel more intimate and special. But remember, the key is to use them sparingly and naturally, so they don't lose their charm. Your life experiences are another asset that younger women often find appealing. Unlike younger men who may still be figuring things out, you've likely been through a lot and have learned valuable lessons along the way. Sharing these experiences in a way that is both humble and insightful can be very attractive. It's not about lecturing or coming off as a know-it-all, but rather about offering perspectives that she might not have considered. This kind of mentorship, when done right, can create a bond that is both intellectual and emotional. Assertiveness is another quality that can set you apart. In a world where many people are unsure or hesitant, being decisive and confident in your actions can be very attractive. This doesn't mean being pushy or overbearing, but rather showing that you know what you want and aren't afraid to go after it. Whether it's making plans for a date or simply expressing your opinions confidently, this assertiveness can be very appealing to younger women who might be looking for someone to take the lead. Reliability is a trait that becomes more important as people get older, and it's something that younger women often appreciate in older men. When you're reliable, you're showing that you're someone she can count on, someone who will be there when needed. This kind of stability can be a refreshing change from the unpredictability that often comes with dating younger men. Being someone she can rely on doesn't just make you a good partner, it makes you someone she respects and admires. One of the most powerful ways to connect with a younger woman is by being emotionally available. Many younger men struggle with this, but as an older man, you've likely developed a better understanding of your emotions and how to express them. Being open about how you feel, while also being a good listener, can create a deep emotional connection that goes beyond physical attraction. It shows that you're not just interested in a superficial relationship but in something more meaningful. Physical appearance does matter, but not in the way you might think. It's not about trying to look younger, but about taking care of yourself and presenting the best version of who you are now. Dressing well, staying fit, and maintaining good grooming habits can all contribute to how you're perceived by others. When you look good, you feel good, and that confidence is something others will notice and be drawn to. Understanding the importance of balance is crucial. While it's important to show interest and pursue a relationship with a younger woman, it's equally important not to overdo it. Being too eager can come off as desperate, which is the opposite of the calm confidence you want to project. Finding that balance between showing interest and maintaining your composure is key to keeping the attraction alive. The art of conversation plays a big role in building and maintaining attraction. Being able to hold a meaningful, engaging conversation can set you apart from others. It's not just about talking but also about listening, asking thoughtful questions, and showing genuine interest in what she has to say. This kind of interaction can create a bond that is both intellectual and emotional, making your age an asset rather than a hindrance. Then, it's more about understanding that age is not a barrier but an advantage when used wisely. By embracing who you are, showing confidence, and understanding what younger women find attractive, you can create meaningful, lasting connections. It's not about trying to be someone you're not or competing with younger men, but about recognizing the unique qualities that come with age and using them to your advantage. With the right mindset and approach, you can not only attract younger women but also build fulfilling, dynamic relationships with them. When you interact with women, it's all too common for men to take the easy route, especially when they're keen on making a good impression. You might notice that men often fall into the habit of trying too hard to prove themselves, particularly when they're dealing with younger women. They'll go out of their way to highlight their niceness, coolness, attractiveness, or success, all in a bid to win her over. But as a man of experience, you don't need to seek approval. Your goal is to naturally draw her interest. Falling into the trap of seeking validation is a significant misstep because it sends the wrong message. It makes you seem like you're striving for her approval, which can make you come across as needy or desperate. This behavior signals a lack of confidence in your inherent value as a man. And sure, let us tell you a story that might help illustrate this idea a bit more clearly. Imagine this: there's a guy named David, who's in his mid-40s. David's been through a lot in life. He's had his ups and downs, his victories and failures, and all that has shaped him into a pretty self-assured guy. He's been single for a while, focusing on his career, his hobbies, and just living life. But lately, he started thinking about dating again. Not with any huge sense of urgency, but more like he's open to the idea if the right person comes along. So, David meets this woman, Emma, at a friend's dinner party. Emma's a bit younger, in her early 30s, and she's got that kind of energy that lights up a room. She's smart, funny, and there's an instant connection between them. They get to talking, and before he knows it, David's really enjoying her company. Now, David's been around long enough to know that this kind of connection doesn't come along every day, but he also knows not to rush things. He's just himself, relaxed and confident, not trying to put on any airs or impress her. As the evening goes on, the conversation flows naturally. They talk about everything from travel to their favorite books, and David notices that Emma seems genuinely interested in what he has to say. But here's the thing, David isn't trying to win her over. He's not throwing out compliments every few minutes or agreeing with everything she says just to keep her interested. In fact, at one point, they stumble upon a topic where they have completely different views. Emma's passionate about this new health trend she's been following, but David, who's seen a lot of these fads come and go, isn't convinced. Instead of nodding along and pretending to agree, David calmly shares his perspective. He doesn't dismiss her ideas, but he doesn't shy away from voicing his skepticism either. He says something like, "I get where you're coming from, but I've seen a lot of these trends, and I'm not sure this one has the legs to last. It's great that it works for you, though." Now, here's where it gets interesting. A younger, less confident guy might worry that disagreeing would put her off, but David's not concerned. He knows that being honest and true to himself is more important than trying to align perfectly with her views. Emma pauses for a moment, and David can see her processing what he said. But instead of getting defensive or losing interest, she actually seems more intrigued. They dive deeper into the conversation, and it becomes this rich, engaging discussion where they're both learning from each other. Emma appreciates that David isn't just another guy who's trying to charm her with empty compliments. He's challenging her in a way that's respectful and thought-provoking, and that makes her see him in a different light. As the night winds down, David realizes he's had a great time, but he doesn't feel the need to push for anything more. He doesn't ask for her number or suggest they meet up again right away. He just says, "This was really fun. Maybe I'll see you around," and leaves it at that. He's not playing games, he's just confident that if it's meant to be, it'll happen naturally. He's learned over the years that trying to force something or rushing into it can often backfire, so he's content to let things unfold as they will. A few days later, David gets a message from Emma. She tells him she really enjoyed their conversation and asks if he'd like to grab a coffee sometime. David smiles to himself, not because he's surprised, but because he knows that this is the result of being genuine and confident in who he is. He agrees to meet up, but again, he's not putting any pressure on the situation. He's just looking forward to spending time with someone interesting. When they meet up for coffee, the vibe is easy and relaxed, just like it was at the party. They talk, they laugh, and the connection between them deepens. But what really stands out to Emma is how comfortable David is in his own skin. He's not trying to be someone he's not, and he's not trying to impress her with grand gestures or over-the-top compliments. He's just himself, confident, witty, and, most importantly, genuine. As they continue to see each other, David stays true to this approach. He never falls into the trap of trying to win her approval. When they disagree, they talk it through. When they agree, they enjoy the shared perspective. David's not afraid to tease her a little, to keep things light and fun. He might jokingly call her out on something silly she says, but it's always in good humor, and it only serves to bring them closer. And you know what? This dynamic works because it's built on mutual respect and honesty. Emma knows that David isn't trying to impress her, he's just being himself, and that's what she finds so attractive. She doesn't feel like he's trying to be everything she wants, he's simply living his life, and if she wants to be a part of it, she's welcome. This takes the pressure off both of them and allows their relationship to grow naturally, without any of the usual games or pretense. Over time, as their relationship deepens, David's confidence and self-assuredness become the foundation of their bond. Emma admires his strength of character, his ability to stand by his beliefs, and his refusal to compromise who he is just to make her happy. She loves that he's not afraid to disagree with her, because it shows that he respects her enough to be honest. And David, for his part, appreciates that Emma values him for who he really is, not for who he might pretend to be. In the end, what started as a casual connection at a dinner party blossoms into something meaningful because David never tried to be anyone other than himself. He didn't fall into the trap of seeking approval or trying to impress Emma. Instead, he let his natural confidence and authenticity shine through, and that's what made him stand out. It's a powerful reminder that when you're true to yourself, the right people will be drawn to you, not because you're trying to win them over, but because they see and appreciate the real you. So, when you think about the relationships you have with women, remember David's story. It's not about trying to be perfect or saying all the right things. It's about being genuine, confident, and comfortable in your own skin. When you embrace this approach, you'll find that your interactions are more enjoyable, more meaningful, and ultimately, more successful. One of the most powerful ways to sidestep this pitfall is by incorporating a hint of playful judgment into your interactions. This doesn't mean being harsh or dismissive, rather, it's about engaging in a lighthearted and teasing manner. When she says or does something that gives you an opportunity, respond with a playful tease, something exaggerated or slightly absurd to keep things fun and relaxed. By doing this, you project a sense of ease and self-assuredness. You're subtly communicating that you're not trying to impress her or win her favor because you know your worth. Men often fall into another common mistake, being overly agreeable. It's easy to nod along with everything she says, thinking that this will make you more likable. Whether it's agreeing to her plans without question or showering her with compliments, this behavior can backfire quickly. When you agree too easily or too often, it can lead her to see you as just another nice guy, someone who's trying too hard to please and lacks the depth of genuine assertiveness. Women can sense when a man is overly eager to gain their approval, and this can be a turn-off. As a more seasoned man, your confidence should be your calling card. It's important not to shy away from expressing your true thoughts, even if they might differ from hers. When you engage in meaningful conversations, you'll inevitably come across topics where your perspectives don't align perfectly. Rather than glossing over these differences, embrace them. Calmly and confidently share your viewpoint. This not only sets you apart from the nice guy, but also shows that you are a man with his own mind, unafraid to express it. This approach highlights the strength of your character. When you can disagree without being disagreeable, you show that you value your own opinions and aren't willing to compromise them just to gain favor. This kind of self-assuredness is incredibly attractive because it reflects a man who is comfortable in his own skin, someone who doesn't need to be liked by everyone to feel good about himself. Women are naturally drawn to this type of quiet confidence because it speaks volumes about your maturity and self-respect. It's also important to recognize that confidence isn't about being confrontational or argumentative. It's about knowing who you are and being comfortable enough to express it. When you're confident, you can navigate conversations with ease, even when you disagree. This balance of confidence and respect is key. It allows you to maintain your own integrity while still being engaging and thoughtful in your interactions. Moreover, when you express your opinions without fear, you create a dynamic of mutual respect. She will see you as someone who is not just trying to win her over, but someone who values the exchange of ideas. This makes your interactions richer and more meaningful, and it establishes a deeper connection based on mutual respect rather than shallow flattery. Another advantage of this approach is that it helps you stand out in her mind. When you don't conform to the typical patterns of trying to please or impress, you become memorable. You're not just another guy who is eager to gain her approval. You're someone who has the confidence to be himself. This uniqueness is often what leaves a lasting impression and can set the stage for a more genuine connection. By maintaining this level of self-assurance, you also create an environment where she feels more comfortable being herself. When she sees that you're not trying to mold yourself into what you think she wants, she's more likely to relax and drop any pretense as well. This leads to more authentic and enjoyable interactions for both of you, as the pressure to impress is lifted. It's worth noting that this approach doesn't mean you should be indifferent or aloof. On the contrary, it's about striking the right balance between showing interest and maintaining your own sense of self. You can still be attentive and considerate without losing sight of your own values and opinions. This balance is what makes you attractive on a deeper level. And you know what? The key to attracting rather than chasing is rooted in your confidence and self-worth. When you stop trying to prove yourself and start focusing on being yourself, you'll naturally draw women toward you. They'll be attracted to your authenticity, your confidence, and the fact that you're not seeking their validation to feel good about yourself. This is what differentiates a truly confident man from someone who is just trying to play the part. As a mature man, your interactions with women should be driven by a sense of self-assuredness and ease. Avoid the trap of trying to qualify yourself or seeking approval, and instead focus on being genuine and confident in your exchanges. This will not only make you more attractive but will also lead to more meaningful and enjoyable connections. You know, it's funny how something as simple as physical touch can be so misunderstood, especially by men. A lot of guys out there don't really get how crucial it is when you're trying to connect with someone on a deeper level. It's like there's this fear, right? Fear of being seen as too forward or, worse, as that creepy guy nobody wants to be around. And, honestly, I can't blame them. Nobody wants to be misjudged or make someone uncomfortable. But here's the thing, avoiding touch altogether? That's just missing out on a huge opportunity. Now, imagine you're sitting across from someone you really like, and the conversation's flowing, but something's just not clicking. Everything seems fine, but there's this invisible barrier, and you can't quite figure out why. Well, that's where physical touch comes in. It's like the unsung hero of communication, a way to express what words sometimes can't. And I get it, making that first move can feel like stepping into the unknown, but when done right, it can be a game changer. Let us tell you a story about Mike and Jenna. It's one of those tales that really shows how something as simple as physical touch can make a big difference. So, Mike and Jenna met through a mutual friend at a little get-together one evening. You know, the kind of gathering where everyone's mingling and chatting, but no one's really diving deep into anything. Mike was a bit of a reserved guy, always the one to hang back and observe rather than jump into the spotlight. Jenna, on the other hand, was outgoing, full of energy, and had this way of drawing people in with her lively personality. They started talking over some snacks and drinks. Mike was impressed by Jenna's enthusiasm and the way she lit up the room. She had this infectious smile and this natural ease about her that made everyone feel comfortable. As they talked, Mike found himself more and more drawn into the conversation. Jenna had this genuine interest in what he was saying, and it felt good to be really heard. Now, here's where things get interesting. Mike was enjoying the conversation, but he was also holding back a bit. He wasn't sure how to move past the friendly chat and make a deeper connection. He'd heard that physical touch could be important in building rapport, but he wasn't quite sure how to approach it without seeming too forward. As they continued to chat, Jenna started telling a story about a recent hiking trip she'd taken. She was animated, using her hands to describe the beautiful views and the challenges she faced. Mike, who was genuinely engaged, found himself laughing along and leaning in closer. He noticed that every time he made a point or shared something interesting, Jenna would nod enthusiastically or touch his arm lightly as she reacted to what he was saying. That's when Mike decided to take a chance. He remembered the little advice he'd heard about starting with small, natural touches. So, when Jenna made a particularly funny comment, Mike reached out and gave her a light, friendly tap on the arm. It was just a brief touch, but it felt right in the moment. Jenna's eyes widened a bit, and she laughed, leaning a little closer. It was like that touch had opened a new layer of their interaction. From then on, the dynamic between them shifted. Mike felt more confident and began to notice that Jenna seemed even more relaxed and engaged. When she told a story about a funny encounter with her pet cat, Mike playfully nudged her, and she responded with a big laugh, her hand brushing against his in the process. It wasn't anything big, but these little touches were starting to make their conversations feel warmer and more connected. One night, after a few weeks of these pleasant, casual interactions, Mike and Jenna were at a small outdoor concert together. The night was cool, and they were sitting close, enjoying the music. Jenna was excited about the band and was telling Mike how much she loved their music. As she talked, she would occasionally touch his arm or shoulder to emphasize her points. Mike noticed how natural it felt when she touched him, and he decided to let his own touches flow more freely. He put his hand gently on her back as they navigated through the crowd, and when they found a spot to sit, he placed a hand on her knee as they talked about their favorite songs. Jenna didn't pull away. Instead, she seemed to lean into these touches, her smile widening each time. Later, as they were walking back to their cars, Mike decided to take it a step further. They stopped for a moment to look at the stars, and Mike gently took Jenna's hand in his. It wasn't a grand gesture, just a simple holding of hands. Jenna looked at him, her eyes soft and full of warmth. She didn't say anything, but the look she gave him said it all. She felt a real connection. Over time, Mike and Jenna's relationship grew deeper, and their physical touch became a natural part of their interactions. It wasn't just about romantic gestures, it was about showing affection and building a bond through those small, meaningful touches. Whether it was a reassuring pat on the back, a comforting hand on the shoulder, or just sitting close enough to feel each other's warmth, their physical connection added a rich layer to their relationship. The key takeaway here is that Mike's initial hesitation about physical touch was understandable, but once he overcame it and started incorporating those small, natural gestures, it really changed the way Jenna perceived their connection. It made their interactions feel more genuine and heartfelt. So, if you're ever in a similar situation, remember, sometimes, those little touches can be the perfect way to express how much you care and to build a deeper, more meaningful connection with someone. Just think about how we interact with people every day, just naturally. We shake hands when we meet someone new, give a friend a pat on the back, or maybe even a quick hug. These are all forms of physical touch that we don't even think twice about because they're so ingrained in our social behavior. But what if I told you that you could take those same principles and apply them to your interactions with someone you're interested in? The trick is to start with something that feels totally normal, something that wouldn't even raise an eyebrow. For example, maybe it's as simple as offering a handshake when you meet her for the first time. Or perhaps it's giving her a light, playful tap on the arm when she says something funny. These little gestures might seem insignificant, but they're actually laying the groundwork for something much more meaningful. It's like you're saying, "Hey, I'm comfortable with you, and I want you to feel comfortable with me too." And here's where it gets really interesting. When you're able to incorporate touch into your interactions in a way that feels natural, it starts to break down those walls that people put up. Suddenly, the conversation feels less like a formal exchange of words and more like a genuine connection between two people. You're not just talking anymore, you're communicating on a whole different level. But I'll tell you what really sets this apart: confidence. When you're the kind of guy who can initiate touch without second-guessing yourself, it shows that you're comfortable in your own skin. You're not worried about how you're being perceived because you know your intentions are good. And trust me, that kind of self-assurance is incredibly attractive. It's like you're giving off this vibe that says, I'm not afraid to be who I am, and I'm not afraid to show you that I'm interested. And let's not overlook the science behind it. Physical touch isn't just about making someone feel good, it's actually a biological thing. Touch has been shown to release oxytocin, that feel-good hormone that's all about trust and bonding. So when you initiate touch, you're not just creating a connection, you're literally fostering a sense of trust and closeness that can't be achieved through words alone. Of course, I'm not saying you should go overboard with it. Timing and subtlety are key. You don't want to be that guy who's constantly in someone's personal space. Nobody likes that. But if you're able to pick your moments and make that touch feel natural and appropriate, it can make all the difference. Maybe it's a light touch on her shoulder when you're agreeing with something she says, or maybe it's a casual brush of your hand against hers as you're walking side by side. These little touches might seem minor, but they're actually doing a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to building that connection. And the best part? Touch isn't just about physical attraction. It's about showing that you're open, that you're someone who's approachable and friendly. When you're able to touch someone in a way that feels natural and genuine, it's like you're saying, I'm here, I'm with you, and I'm present in this moment. And that kind of presence? It's something people crave, even if they don't realize it. What's really surprising is how receptive people can be to touch when it's done right. It's not about being pushy or crossing boundaries, it's about being aware of the moment and knowing when it's appropriate. And when you can master that balance, you'll find that touch can actually enhance your interactions in ways you never imagined. It's like you're adding another layer to the connection, one that's felt rather than spoken. So, if you've been holding back because you're worried about how touch might be perceived, I'd say it's time to reconsider. Start small, be mindful of how the other person is responding, and most importantly, trust yourself. You'll find that when you're able to incorporate touch into your interactions, it opens up new possibilities for connection, trust, and maybe even something more. And in a world where so many people are afraid to reach out, being the one who's willing to do so can make you stand out in the best possible way. Alright, everyone talks about needing a strong connection with a woman, but who's really ready to dig deep, analyze the dynamics, and understand what it truly takes to make that happen? A strong connection doesn't just happen by accident, it's something you have to consciously work on and understand. And one of the most powerful ways to build that connection is by learning how to lead the conversation. You see, women are naturally attracted to men who can take charge, who can steer the conversation with confidence and ease. It's not just about talking more, it's about guiding the interaction in a way that makes her feel understood, valued, and intrigued. When you're leading the conversation, you're not just filling the silence, you're creating a space where she feels comfortable and engaged. It's like being the captain of a ship, you set the course, navigate through different topics, and keep things moving smoothly. But to do this effectively, you need to take on the responsibility of the interaction. This means being the one who initiates, who asks the questions, who shares stories, and who keeps the energy flowing. It's about making sure that the conversation doesn't hit a dead end but instead continues to evolve in interesting and meaningful ways. Now, leading doesn't mean dominating the conversation or talking over her. It's more about guiding it in a way that shows you're in control, but still respectful of her input. You need to ask the right questions, ones that go beyond the surface and encourage her to open up. When you do this, you're not just learning more about her, you're showing that you're genuinely interested in who she is. And that interest is key to building a strong connection. It's not about interrogating her, but about creating a dialogue where both of you can share and learn from each other. Sharing your own experiences is just as crucial as asking questions. When you open up about your life, your thoughts, your challenges, and your successes, you're giving her a window into your world. This transparency helps to build trust and rapport, which are essential ingredients in any strong connection. It's like laying down the building blocks of a relationship. Each story, each thought you share adds another layer of depth to your interaction. And when you do this with authenticity, without trying to impress her, it becomes even more powerful. Humor, of course, plays a significant role in this process. When you can make her laugh, you're doing more than just entertaining her, you're creating a bond. Laughter is one of the quickest ways to break down barriers and build a sense of closeness. It's like a shortcut to her heart. But the key here is to use humor in a way that's lighthearted and genuine. It's not about making jokes for the sake of it, but about bringing a sense of fun and playfulness into the conversation. This kind of humor shows that you're relaxed and confident, and it encourages her to feel the same. As you lead the conversation, it's important to be aware of how you're navigating through different topics. You want to be flexible and adaptive, able to shift gears when necessary. This shows that you're not just stuck on one subject or agenda, but that you're open to exploring new ideas and directions. It's like being a skilled driver, knowing when to take a turn, when to speed up, and when to slow down. This ability to guide the conversation smoothly from one topic to another demonstrates your leadership and makes the interaction feel dynamic and engaging. Expressing your own opinions is another key aspect of leading the conversation. It's easy to fall into the trap of agreeing with everything she says just to keep things comfortable. But real connections are built on honesty and authenticity. When you calmly and confidently share your viewpoints, even if they differ from hers, you're showing that you're your own person, with your own thoughts and beliefs. This kind of assertiveness is attractive because it signals that you're not just trying to please her, you're being true to yourself. Leading the conversation also means being responsible for its direction and tone. You're not leaving it up to her to keep things going, you're taking on that role yourself. This shows that you're willing to put in the effort to make the interaction meaningful and enjoyable. It's like being the host of a great party. You're the one making sure everyone is having a good time, that the energy stays up, and that there's never a dull moment. This kind of responsibility is attractive because it shows that you care about the quality of the interaction. By taking charge of the conversation, you're also subtly communicating that you're the type of man who can lead in other areas of life. Women find this quality attractive because it suggests that you're capable, decisive, and reliable. It's not about being controlling, it's about being someone who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to take action to get it. When you lead the conversation with this kind of confidence, you're showing her that you're a man who can be trusted to take the lead in a relationship, too. This approach allows her to relax and be more receptive. When she sees that you're confidently guiding the interaction, she can let go of any pressure to take the lead herself. This creates a natural dynamic where she can embrace her feminine side, feeling comfortable and at ease in your presence. It's like a dance, you're leading with assurance, and she's following with grace, both of you moving in sync with each other. As the conversation unfolds, you'll find that this leadership style helps to build a deeper connection. She'll begin to see you as someone who's not just confident but also considerate and thoughtful. By taking the lead, you're showing her that you're invested in the conversation and in getting to know her better. This kind of investment is attractive because it shows that you're not just interested in a superficial interaction, you're looking for something more meaningful. Leading the conversation also sets the tone for the rest of the relationship. By taking charge from the start, you're establishing a dynamic where both of you can feel secure and comfortable. She'll know that she can rely on you to guide things when necessary, which can create a sense of stability and trust. This foundation is essential for any healthy relationship, and it all begins with how you handle those initial conversations. When you lead the conversation, you're not just attracting her attention, you're earning her respect. You're showing her that you're a man who knows how to navigate through life with confidence and purpose. This kind of leadership is magnetic, and it's something that will make you stand out in her mind long after the conversation is over. It's about more than just talking, it's about guiding, connecting, and creating a bond that's both meaningful and lasting. If you've enjoyed this video, let's make sure you stay connected with us. Take a moment to click that like button. It's a simple way to show your appreciation and support. If you haven't yet, subscribing to our channel is the best way to stay in the loop with all the exciting content we have lined up for you. And don't forget to tap the notification bell. That way, you'll be instantly notified whenever we upload something new, ensuring you're always up to date. We really value your feedback and would love to hear your thoughts on this video. Share your insights and opinions in the comments below. We're always eager to engage with you. Make sure you watch the video through to the end. There's plenty more in store that you won't want to miss. And while you're here, why not check out our next featured video? We've carefully curated it to bring you even more value and entertainment. Your presence here means a lot to us, and we truly appreciate your time. If you could, please like the video, share it with those who might enjoy it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support is what keeps us going. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care and keep exploring.